Let's go, baby. I know you're being driven crazy. You got a nappy hairline, your beard's all scraggly, you're stuck in the house with your significant other and your crazy kids. That's why I'm here today, to get your mind off of that and back on LSU football, because we're chatting everything LSU recruiting today. What is the biggest position of need for the class of 2021? Also, we're going to take a look at the future LSU quarterback room from my eyes, but we've got to start with the best news of the week. Jabril Cox, a class of 2020 linebacker, graduate transfer from North Dakota State University, multiple-time All-American, prior relationship with LSU defensive coordinator Bo Pelini. This is a big-time LSU recruit. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He was a freshman All-American in 2017, and since then, in 2018 and 2019, only back-to-back All-American, only 35-1 record at North Dakota State, a multiple-time national champion. You can't say enough good things about Jabril Cox. And LSU's linebacker group took a huge hit. Patrick Queen, gone to the NFL. Jacob Phillips, gone to the NFL. K'Lavon Chaisson, gone to the NFL. This is huge. And LSU learning a new defense. You're going to need more linebackers, traditional linebackers, to play in that 4-3 system. And Jabril Cox, over 250 tackles, over 30 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, 6 interceptions. You can't really beat those numbers when it comes to production at the FCS level. So, you think about LSU's linebacker group. Do you think Jabril Cox will lead LSU in tackles next season? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go with yes. I think he's that good. I watched his tape, and he's all over the place. I think he ends up making the Senior Bowl next year for LSU. And what's crazy is that LSU's linebacker room was already really talented. Ray Thornton, Marcel Brooks, Devonta Leigh, and the list goes on and on. But Cox has actually played the position, started at the position, and he's produced at the position, unlike those other guys. So I think that gives Jabril Cox a leg up. Even though he's new, this is a new defensive system for LSU. Now, we talked about this at the beginning of the video. What is the biggest position of need for LSU? It's offensive tackle. And that's why they are going after the number one offensive tackle in the country on every recruiting service. That is Tommy Brockermeyer. And what's interesting about Tommy is if you get him, you also get his twin brother, James, who is the number 2 center and a top 250 player out of Fort Worth, Texas. So it's a package deal if you get these guys. And Brockermeyer just jumps off the page, has great size. His brother's also going to be a great center or offensive guard at the next level. You look at LSU's class of 2021, they have no offensive tackle commits yet. They don't have any offensive line commits right now. And last year, LSU only had 2 3-star offensive guards all the way up till the very end of the early signing period, and they were able to still land Marcus Dummerville, the number 11 offensive tackle in next year's class. But still, the offensive tackle and the offensive line room is getting thinner and thinner. Heck, LSU this spring, they barely had enough offensive linemen to really practice. So this is a huge focus for Ed Orgeron in this next class. And as of right now, if recruiting gets back to normal, the Brockermeyer brothers are expected to make a visit in May. So let's say you don't get Tommy Brockermeyer. Let's say you don't get James and their amazing talents. Who are some other offensive tackles LSU will look at? How about 5-star, number 2 overall tackle, Amarius Mims out of Georgia? He listed LSU in his top 10, but I do think he's a heavy Bulldog lean. Tristan Leigh out of Virginia, another 5-star. I think he's a Clemson lean. This guy is someone that I've spent a lot of time talking about. J.C. Latham out of IMG Academy. That's been a huge LSU factory. Delpit and Ricks, but still, I see him as an Ohio State lean. But this next guy has a heavy LSU lean out of Michigan, Garrett Dellinger. James Craig, the offensive line coach, loves him. He's made multiple trips up there to go see him. This is the number 12 national offensive tackle. I think he'd be a huge fit and get for LSU. And obviously, the Tigers really need offensive tackles in the worst way. The last top 10 offensive tackle LSU picked up was Austin Deculus in 2017. So what does that mean? Is that just a recruiting ranking number? Well, it actually means something. All their top 10 tackles that they picked up, whether it be you go all the way back to Lyle Collins, whether you talk about Toby Weathersby, they have been multiple year starters. They've only had one bust at that position. So LSU desperately needs it. Deculus is a senior next year, so you got to fill in those slots. And obviously, it would be very nice if they were to pick up any of those elite offensive tackles. So you're stuck in your house. You want to get some fresh LSU gear, right? Check us out, baby. Chatsports.com/LSU shirt. You know you want to look fresh, baby. You know you want a Joe Burrow shirt. They might not have this one, but there is a Burrow number 9 shirt there, officially licensed. Check it out for yourself. 65% off. Chatsports.com/LSU shirt. Let's move on to another big position of need. Defensive end. Monkelle Goodwine, a 4-star end. I love that name, by the way. Out of Maryland, he has listed his top 5 schools: Texas A&M, Penn State, Alabama, and the Terrapins. As of right now, Goodwine has yet to even visit LSU. So for the fact that Ed Orgeron already has Goodwine in his final 5 schools, that is pretty big as of right now. LSU has 0 offensive line commits right now, and let's say you don't get Goodwine. Let's take a look at some other potential defensive ends. 4-star Bryce Langston out of Florida. How about this? LSU's in his top 2. It's the Gators and the Tigers. Landon Jackson, a 4-star out of Texas. Keanu Colt, also out of Florida. Savion Jones out of Louisiana, the number 10 ranked player in Louisiana. And 5-star, the creme de la creme, Dylan Brooks out of Alabama. So, I want to throw out another audience question to you. Over, under, 4 LSU Tigers in the first round of the NFL draft. Type O for over, type U for under, or just type 4 if you think it's exactly going to be 4. We know Joe Burrow is going to be number 1 overall. And we know Chaisson for sure is going to be a first rounder. And then after that, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Grant Delpit, you have Christian Fulton, Clyde Edwards-Helaire possibly. I don't know. I would have to say under. I think a lot of offensive tackles and receivers are going to go in the first round. But just let me know what you think in the comments, okay? Now, Sage Ryan is a kid I want to talk about really quickly. 4-star athlete. He announced his top 10. I think he's going to LSU. His uncle Trev Falk played at LSU. His cousin Kevin Falk is currently the running backs coach for LSU and arguably the best running back ever at LSU. But he's the number 39 overall player in the country. I do think he ends up being an eventual 5-star player. His tape is ridiculous. He projects as a safety. He looks like Jamal Adams. Now, Flash Ryan has a heavy Alabama lean as well. I've seen a lot of photos of him making visits with the Alabama gear on. Clemson and Florida State are some other schools that are really hard after him, but I do think he ends up going to LSU. Now, you don't want to miss a video, right? I'm entertaining you during this tough time, right? Come on. I need your subscription. Subscribe to Chat Sports, and I respond to all comments. So get down there in the comment section or reach out to me on social media at Carter the Power, okay? I want to connect with you. Now, final recruit I want to talk about. We're going to look at the quarterback room for the future of LSU. the Tigers just offered 2022 four-star dual threat M.J. Morris. Wow. What a player out of Maryland. Out of Georgia. Here's the thing. I do think LSU's going to focus on a quarterback in their own backyard, Walker Howard. We talked about Sage Ryan just a minute ago out of Lafayette, Louisiana, 1 hour north of Baton Rouge. Walker Howard, also out of Lafayette, Louisiana. The 337, by the way, is such an underrated city. Real Louisianians know about Lafayette, okay? Anyway, this is the first four-star quarterback in the state of Louisiana since 2018. That was Justin Rogers. So, if you were to ask me about that class, I would say Walker Howard is the more likely quarterback LSU lands. Now, let's take a look at the quarterback room really quickly for next year. Miles Brennan's obviously the number one guy, but it gets interesting after that. There's some words about Peter Parrish being floated around. I went to his Twitter profile. It still says Louisiana State University, and because of that, I'm going to have him number 2. But the real battle is going to be for that number 3 spot. TJ Finley and Max Johnson, both class of 2020 quarterbacks. Who's going to be the guy to be that number 3 quarterback, or potentially that number 2 quarterback? I give the slight edge to the Louisiana kid, TJ Finley. But Max Johnson, great football lineage. His dad won a Super Bowl for the Buccaneers, so we'll see about that. Moving forward to the class of 2021, we've talked a lot about Garrett Nussmeier, the 4-star out of Flower Mound, Texas. And we've spent a lot of time about Caleb Williams, the 5-star quarterback out of Washington, D.C. I do think LSU lands Nussmeier. Not so sure about Caleb Williams. And then the class of 2022, Walker Howard and M.J. Morris. I do think LSU ends up getting Walker Howard. That's it, baby. What a video. But it doesn't stop here. Subscribe. I want to connect with you on social media at Carter the Power. I want to know, are we even going to get college football? We desperately need it. So stay at home, flatten the curve, all that stuff. It gets me depressed to even think about no college football. But let's talk in the comments. Subscribe. Don't forget, chatsports.com/LSU shirt, 65% off. There is a Joe Burrow tee. It's not this one, but you can check it out for yourself. Once again, that's chatsports.com/LSU shirt with our friends at Fanatics. We'll talk to you soon, baby, on Chat Sports.